Hey Aquarius, and welcome to Aries season, where some shit is gonna happen. And I'd like to say it's kind of a foreshadowing to some of the events that will take place in your life, generally, personally, next year. So I do feel like this month is an important one, and I always like to say that. Not that all seasons and months aren't important, but this one is, I feel like, especially. You may feel more extroverted than you felt in a while. You may feel more confident than you felt in a while, or more apt to want to take the next step in your life, and make the next decision very confidently, very easily. And it's something that you might need to bring to the table or say to someone. It could be confidently speaking your dreams to someone that you know. Could be someone speaking your way out of a rut or place that you felt stuck in your head maybe for a while. Now that Venus is in Pisces, it almost feels like you can move along on your physical body's journey. So you've been very much in a place, possibly very in your head, very ethereal for a while now, and you could very much want to come out of your shell. And I think that being more extroverted, and it really appears here that being more extroverted is actually really important for your growth at this point. And it's what subconsciously you've been working through, is being okay with being that person that wants to be alone. Whether you have Aquarius in your sun, moon, or rising, you're just someone who likes to naturally be alone. Yeah, people want to hang out with you. You might want to hang out with people, but even if you're doing something you like, there's this sense of, it's not even about independence, it's just your energy, it's how you are. Or you like to normally be around maybe like one person or then a couple people, and you have your spurts where you hang out more and more. And I think you're getting into this place because you've noticed this pattern, but it's also that there's great things that this does for your mind. There's great things that this can help you become aware of in terms of how you interact with the world around you. And it's accepting that you like that alone time just very naturally, or just do your own thing. But you're becoming less attached to specific things and then more attached to other things at this time. It's more so that you're detaching from, especially for those of you who tend to have more anxiety or feel social anxiety, you find that you want to do the opposite. In homeopathy, you introduce the opposite in order to help cure something sometimes. It doesn't go away right away, but it can help lessen the allergy. Not that this is an allergy, but maybe for some of you it can feel like it. Being social feels like this thing that you get a few times a year without you really asking for it, and then you kind of have it for a while, or it lingers for a while. And you being more extroverted is actually helping you come full circle with an idea or concept, or this idea of what it looks like and what your identity is in the world, and what this thing we call ego is. And so you have more of a relaxed sense how this comes through. It may come through in a moment of just contemplation, or even being around people where sometimes that is where you need to be. Like, that's how you almost meditate. A lot of air signs do that. In conversation, they find themselves so there and so ready to be there that it's almost like a meditation for their brain, because it's just working those natural muscles and it doesn't feel like it's strain. So you may be having those conversations, or those very deep and yet wide, expansive thoughts. And it's really coming from a place of, you don't need to be right, but you now get, when you're in those conversations, that it doesn't really sway you. Not that you're someone who's easily swayed, but right now things can appear differently as they seem. Things can appear like something is extremely true, or like this is the thing, and be extreme here and there, or there's more conceptualizing of an idealizing what love is, and with Venus and Pisces. So you find yourself very secure in your boundaries this month, is really what this is. You find yourself very much like being external, but also being that very Aquarian observer that you are. And it's really important that if those of you who don't know how to handle this in a very healthy way, if you go to your tendencies to try to interrupt someone's life just because you can't figure out what's going on with you, that's probably not the best thing to do, because you could ruin or somehow damage something that can't really heal, whether it's a relationship or a situation you find yourself in this month. It involves people. There's this sense of wanting to work around the home, wanting to strengthen what home feels like, what security feels like, what it feels like to be someone who understands strength in the mind, and yet in being able to be so forward in the mind and forward thinking, you find yourself at the end of the month, all of this external helps inspire you perhaps to put a lot of energy into something that an idea possibly, or a situation from the Leo full moon in your season. So it's possible that something from a couple months ago is now coming around for you to decide whether you want to carry it forward or not. And it may come up very naturally in these spaces of conversation, even if you know how you can be sometimes, where you talk around something and yet you're talking directly about something or someone else in your mind, but you're talking around it with other people. That's maybe what bring you there. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just sometimes how you are. Without being so attached or personal to the situation, you find yourself being able to do that somehow. And it's helpful for you this month. It's a strength that you have this month that can help ease any tension that you've been feeling with maybe a Leo in your life, or could be even a Virgo. There might be this by the end of the month, you might be taking all this energy that you're gaining and putting it into something important. Something that you're going to continuously work on throughout the summer, from Gemini season to even Leo season. And those are the seasons that really amp up the energy. So in between those seasons, it's possible that you work slowly on the things that really need attention. Like Taurus season's perfect for that. Cancer season can be perfect for that. So then the signs in between is where you want to put your external energy and put that into play and into what is necessary in your life right now. Especially it's the relationship with yourself more than anything. I know that you can feel secluded sometimes and maybe even away from the crowd, but that's where you like to be. This month is a great month to accentuate the parts of you, the very unique parts of you that only need to be noticed or shine in certain times, where it's easier for that to come out. And since we're in like a fellow Martian sign, it could be a great month to do so. It could be a great month to also use that external part of yourself, of accepting these certain parts of who you are and how you present yourself, which is kind of what leaked from Capricorn season into you guys. I'm finding the very leaks and links between each sign this month, and in the second part, which you can find in a Patreon link below, I talk more about that in certain sections. So this month you find yourself really accepting the parts of you that need to hang back, or like to just be in a crowd or be in a group of people without saying too much, or making that funny quirky comment and then deciding to then even just go home. Like, say you're hanging out, this is how you can be. You can hang out and then you go home, doesn't matter what time it is, you can be inspired and get to work on something. And you think that some of you are going to have some of that inspiration that's going to come from an emotional, most of you, an emotional internal scene that you find yourself having. And it could be this, what was exposed during the Virgo full moon at the end of last month, which was on the 18th of March. So that could be something also, whatever's coming up now, again, was something that opened up on the 18th, and now you're able to look at, and it's more smooth, it's easier, you're more understanding, you know that you're at the end of something and something subconscious is coming through. And that's what that Hanged Man is about after the Ten of Swords, is to understand that you will doubt yourself sometimes, but you'll still have to move forward. You don't have to move forward the way you did before when you came to this, but maybe the next time. And to know that if you feel any buildup of anxiousness or excitement or this part of you that needs to know that you can ask yourself, someone taught me this once and I love it, is what do you know now? You know, like, you only know what you know now. And then what do you know now? And it is an Aries. What do you know now? What's important now? What do you feel right now? Not how do you look around how you feel, how do you actually feel? Because this month is a great month to let yourself feel through anything that you have been unable to, because whatever's not necessary, you can always ask to just be burned away in Aries season. And that's the beauty of it, because it can be, and we're starting really big new cycles. So how do you want to start? All right, Aquarius. The second part will be in a link below on Patreon, like I said before, and all information to work with me one-on-one is there as well. Thank you, and I will see you next month.